Right now, a dangerous cold front is slamming into Tasmania, and behind it, a wall of polar air is racing towards Melbourne. But here is what almost nobody is talking about. By Saturday, parts of Queensland could be drowning under 150 millimetres of rain in just 24 hours. That is not a typo, 150 millimetres. And if you are in New South Wales, do not switch off, because that same system is heading your way next. Here is my promise to you. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly when this cold front hits your city, when the thunderstorms peak, and when the skies finally clear. City by city, hour by hour, and stay with me until the 5-minute mark, because that is when I will reveal which part of Australia faces the most extreme rainfall totals next week, with some models showing over 200 millimetres. 200. Let us get into it. Right now, as of this Wednesday afternoon, the satellite imagery is telling a dramatic story. A classic cold front, and I mean textbook cold front, is pushing into Tasmania from the Southern Ocean. You can see it in the speckled cloud pattern stretching across the Great Australian Bight. That speckled pattern is the signature of cold, unstable air clashing with warmer surface temperatures. Thunderstorms and rain are already hammering the western slopes of the Tasmanian ranges. But here is the twist. This cold front is not just a Tasmanian problem. Behind that front, a massive stream of polar air is funneling along the entire southern coastline. We are talking about a cold air corridor stretching from the southwest corner of Western Australia all the way across to Melbourne. That is thousands of kilometres of cold air on the move. Now, let me give you the timing, because timing is everything. Tasmania. The cold front is moving through right now, Wednesday afternoon. Thunderstorms, rain, gusty winds on the western ranges. By tonight, the front clears through and the truly cold air arrives behind it. When you wake up Thursday morning, it is gone. Short-lived but sharp. By Thursday lunchtime, southwesterly winds take over. Plenty of showers on the west coast, but mostly dry elsewhere. Quick hit, quick exit, Melbourne and Victoria. Here is where it gets interesting. This afternoon, Wednesday, you might still feel warm to hot conditions ahead of the change. Enjoy it while it lasts. By this evening, around 7 o'clock Eastern Time, the cold change pushes into Victoria. Expect showers, possibly a few thunderstorms along the coastal parts of southern Victoria. The rain and cloud clear away during Thursday morning, shifting out to the east. By Thursday afternoon, Melbourne is dry and noticeably cooler. But do not put the umbrella away just yet. I will tell you why in a moment. Now, before I continue, drop a comment below telling me where you are watching from, your city, your town, your region. I read every single comment, and if enough of you from one area comment, I will do a dedicated deep dive forecast just for your location. Whether you are on the Gold Coast, up in Townsville, out in Broken Hill, or down in Geelong, let me know. So comment now while you are thinking about it. Adelaide and South Australia, you are getting a taste of this cold change too, with the front linking into your region tonight and into Thursday. Some clouds, some showers, and a few thunderstorms mixed in as that system passes through. But here is the plot twist for Adelaide. While the south cools down nicely this week, giving you a pleasant break from the summer heat, by Tuesday of next week, hot northerly winds come screaming down from the interior straight into Adelaide. We are talking about air that has baked across the outback, picking up heat as it goes and delivering it right to your doorstep. And then, right behind that heat, another southerly change arrives on the western side of coastal South Australia. So Tuesday next week, Adelaide, you are looking at a classic weather sandwich. Hot northerlies pushing your temperatures up in the morning and early afternoon, then bang, the southerly hits and the temperature drops like a stone. It could easily be a 20-degree swing in just a few hours. Mark that on your calendar. That is going to be one of those days where you walk out in shorts and wish you had a jacket by dinner time. Sydney and New South Wales. Most of New South Wales stays dry through the middle of this week. The heat is pushing through today, Wednesday, and you will feel it. The Australian Capital Territory too. Hot and dry. But here is what you need to watch. As that southerly change pushes north through Thursday, a few border showers creep into southern New South Wales, coastal showers in the southeast, nothing major yet, but the real action starts Friday and builds into the weekend. And this is the part you absolutely should not miss. Do not skip ahead just yet, because what happens in Queensland by Saturday is genuinely remarkable, and it directly affects New South Wales too. Let me set the scene. By Friday, something significant develops in the pressure pattern. High pressure balloons out near Sydney, extending up towards Lord Howe Island and into the Tasman Sea. At the same time, low pressure sits in the Coral Sea and inland over central Queensland. Between that high and that low, the air gets squeezed. Think of it like pinching a garden hose. The winds accelerate. Northerlies come pouring down the Great Dividing Range. Easterlies push in from the coast. And right in that convergence zone, thunderstorms and downpours fire up. Friday, Queensland. The southeast and central parts of Queensland start seeing serious thunderstorm activity. Rainfall totals of 80 millimetres in 24 hours are on the cards. And in some localised areas, it could go even higher than that. 80 millimetres is already significant. That is enough to cause flash flooding in urban areas, enough to turn dry creek beds into raging torrents. But Friday is just the warm-up act. Saturday is when things escalate dramatically. That severe weather zone over Queensland intensifies. We are now looking at potential rainfall totals of 150 millimetres in just 24 hours across parts of Queensland. 150. To put that in perspective, that is roughly what some parts of Queensland receive in an entire average month falling in a single day. Imagine a month of rain compressed into one afternoon and evening. Roads become rivers, low-lying areas flood, creek crossings become death traps. Thunderstorms, heavy downpours, and the potential for severe storms through inland Queensland. If you are anywhere in central or southeast Queensland and you have outdoor plans for Saturday, have a backup, seriously. And here is the part I promised you at the 5-minute mark. Both the European and American weather models are in strong agreement on this. And when both major global models agree, you pay attention. The European model shows a line of heavy rain cutting through Queensland, with some areas accumulating over 200 millimetres for the entire week ahead. 200 millimetres. The American model paints a very similar picture. There is not a great deal of difference between the two. That level of model agreement gives us high confidence that this is real and it is coming. Now, for northern New South Wales, you are not immune. Those severe thunderstorms tracking through inland Queensland on Saturday start dropping south. By Sunday, wet weather pushes into the northern parts of New South Wales and southern parts of Queensland. The northeast corner of New South Wales could see up to 100 millimetres or more over the coming week. If you are anywhere from the Queensland border down to about Coffs Harbour, you need to be watching the radar closely this weekend. Sunday brings a fascinating pressure setup. High pressure parks itself around Tasmania. Low pressure remains over the Coral Sea. In between, easterly winds come in off the ocean, turning to northerlies and northeasterlies as they funnel down towards southern New South Wales, the Australian Capital Territory, and into Victoria. Most populated areas in the south stay mostly dry, which is good news for Sydney, Melbourne, Canberra and Hobart. But northern New South Wales and southern Queensland remain in the firing line. Now, let me talk about what is happening with the remnants of Tropical Cyclone Mitchell, because this is a story a lot of people have been asking about. Over in southern parts of Western Australia, you have been seeing rain from what was Tropical Cyclone Mitchell. It is now an ex-cyclone, completely falling apart, but its moisture is still spilling over into South Australia. A few thunderstorms tagging along with that leftover tropical moisture. Think of it as the ghost of a cyclone. The structure is gone, but the moisture lives on, and it can still produce some decent rainfall. By the weekend, that moisture gets absorbed into the broader flow, and the southern half of Western Australia comes under the influence of high pressure. Dry, settled, classic summer conditions. Perth and southwest Western Australia. Here is your detailed timeline. The rest of this week, high pressure dominates to the south. Dry weather, warm temperatures, beautiful conditions if you are heading to the beach. But come Monday, a cooler southerly breeze arrives just south of Bunbury, pushing up towards the southwest corner. South of places like Margaret River, that southerly will feel noticeably cooler heading into the start of next week. If you have been sweltering through the summer heat down there, this will be a welcome relief. Meanwhile, the heat pushes further east and north away from you and towards South Australia, which, as we discussed, is in for that dramatic Tuesday temperature swing. For the tropics, the Northern Territory, the Kimberley and the top half of Western Australia, this is your standard February fare. Thunderstorms, showers, tropical moisture. Nothing out of the ordinary for the wet season. That tropical low pressure system currently sitting offshore with thunderstorm activity is worth monitoring, but by Tuesday it looks to be tracking more towards New Caledonia, which would be good news for far north Queensland as it takes some of that moisture away. Drier skies return to southern parts of Queensland by Tuesday as a result. Let me give you a quick city-by-city summary so you can plan your week. Hobart, cold front tonight, clears Thursday morning, southwesterly showers on the west coast Thursday. Then high pressure builds and you stay dry through the weekend into early next week. Melbourne, cooler change arrives this evening. Showers and possible thunderstorms tonight. Clears Thursday morning, dry Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Northerly breezes return by Monday and Tuesday, warming things up again. Adelaide, cold change tonight into Thursday. Dry and pleasant through the weekend. Then Tuesday, hot northerlies arrive before the next southerly change sweeps through. A dramatic temperature swing on Tuesday. Canberra, hot today, cooling down by Thursday as the southerly influence pushes through. Mostly dry through the weekend with a chance of a few showers. Northerly winds return early next week, bringing warmth. Sydney, dry and warm through most of this week. Coastal showers possible Thursday in the southeast. Dry weekend for the metro area, but watch the northern parts of the state for heavy rain. Brisbane and southeast Queensland, this is ground zero. Thunderstorms building Friday, escalating Saturday with potential for 150 millimetres in 24 hours. Severe thunderstorms possible through the weekend. Some of those storms could produce damaging wind gusts, heavy hail and intense rainfall bursts. Flash flooding is a genuine risk, especially in urban areas where drainage systems can be overwhelmed quickly. If you live near a creek or in a flood-prone area, now is the time to prepare, not Saturday morning when the rain is already falling. Monitor Bureau of Meteorology warnings closely and have a plan for where you would go if water starts rising. Inland Queensland, same story. Severe thunderstorms rolling through Saturday and into Sunday. If you are on rural properties, check that your pumps and drainage channels are clear. Darwin and the top end. Standard wet season activity. Thunderstorms daily. Nothing unusual, but always stay alert during the monsoon season. Perth. Dry and warm this week. Cooler southerly change arriving Monday in the southwest. Pleasant conditions overall. So here is the big picture. A cold front sweeps the south today and tomorrow, quick and sharp. Then high pressure builds across southern Australia, bringing dry, settled weather for the weekend. But the real story, the headline maker, is that incredible moisture convergence over Queensland building Friday through Sunday with rainfall totals that could exceed 200 millimetres in some areas. 3 things to do right now. First, if you are in Queensland or northern New South Wales, check your gutters, check your drains, make sure your property is ready for heavy rain by Friday. Second, keep the Bureau of Meteorology app on your phone updated and turn on severe weather notifications. Third, drop a comment below with your location so I can tailor future forecasts to where you are. And here is what is coming next that you will want to know about. Beyond Tuesday, there are signs of another significant weather pattern developing. I am seeing early model signals of a potential system that could affect the East Coast later next week. It is too early for specifics, but some of the long-range data is hinting at something that could rival what we are seeing this weekend in Queensland. I will have the full breakdown in tomorrow's Update Thursday. The models should have much better clarity by then on whether this East Coast threat materialises or fizzles out. Either way, you will want to know. One more reminder, comment your location below. I have been getting hundreds of comments from all across Australia, and the more specific you are, the more I can help. Tell me your town, tell me your suburb if you want. The weather can vary dramatically even across a single city, and I want to make sure you are getting the forecast that matters to you. If this forecast helped you, share it with someone in Queensland or northern New South Wales who needs to see it before Friday. Time matters with weather like this. And make sure you are subscribed with notifications turned on so you do not miss tomorrow's update, because the way these systems are evolving, next week could be one of the most active weather weeks we have seen this February across eastern Australia. I will see you tomorrow, Thursday.